Alright, it's that time of the stream again. Oof, I am looking rough today. Okay, it's time for that time of the stream again. It's time for MAGA Cope. So, for those who have not been paying attention to the news at all lately, Donald Trump has become the first president to become impeached twice. Now, to be clear, he's been impeached. He hasn't been removed from office. That's probably not going to happen. However, it is interesting that he's been impeached twice. The only president to have done so in the history of United States. So good job, Donald. You're making history as per usual. Let's take a look at how the MAGA Copers are handling this. Among other things. You know, they're still mad about social media stuff, and they're mad about, oh, the failed insurrection attempt. It's a whole ball of just anger. Let's start peeling back the layers and see what there is. Oh no! Coming in hot. Kevin Campbell says, at Senator Ted Cruz, America is now at stage 6. And it's the 10 stages of genocide. Now, look, let's just read. We'll just read it. We'll read it and see how he's thinking that we're at stage 6, okay? 1. Classification. People are divided into us and them. 2. Symbolization. People are forced to identify themselves. Wait, at what point? The division between us and them, you could argue due to partisan politics, but that's something that happens on both the left and the right, right? You know, like we call people on the right chuds. At least we do in this community. That's not super common nomenclature in the mainstream, but that's what we call them. But there are other things that they get called, whatever. But they also do the same thing in return, right? Like, that's just a part of shitty partisan politics, unfortunately. The symbolization. No one is forcing MAGA people to identify themselves. They do so by wearing Trump merchandise, and that's their business, and they can do that. But no one's telling them. It's not a star that's been put on their shirt forcing them to identify themselves as Trump supporters. 3. Discrimination. People begin to face systematic discrimination. You're not facing systematic discrimination for being a Trump supporter. If you've been, first of all, banned from social media, you're not being discriminated against. You probably broke their TOS, and their TOS doesn't allow you to promote violence or conspiracy theories. That's not systematic discrimination. That's them enforcing their TOS. Dehumanization. People equated with animals, vermin, or diseases. Look, I don't like Trump supporters. I really, really don't like the ones that try and invade the Capitol building, but I have never tried to say they're anything other than human. They are. They're very human. They're human beings. Human beings are capable of a lot of really dumb and awful stuff. If anything, I find people who take people that they don't like and dehumanize them to be outside of the moral implications, which I also find questionable. And let us remember that Donald Trump has done this to people he doesn't like as well. But I don't like that because of the sort of slippery slope connotations of dehumanizing people you don't like. It's not good. But also I think rhetorically speaking, it almost lessens things that they do that are bad, right? It wasn't monsters who tried to overthrow democracy on the 6th. It was a bunch of American citizens, humans, who thought they were right to the point where they were calling themselves patriots, despite the fact that they were enacting fascist overthrow of the government. You know, it's messed up. Organization. The government creates special groups, police, military, to enforce the policies. Does this guy know the police and the military existed prior to January 6th? I don't know if he knows about the police, but they're a thing. It's been around for a while. And then 6, polarization. The government broadcasts propaganda to turn the populace against the group. I would love to hear what government broadcasts are spreading propaganda to turn the populace against a group. Please, let me know. And then the rest of them. He says we're at 6 right now. 7 is preparation. Official action to remove, relocate people begins. Persecution, beginning of murders, theft of property, trial, massacres. Extermination, wholesale elimination of the group. It is extermination and not murder because the people are not considered human. Denial, the government denies that it committed any crime. Again, pretty offensive that he's comparing the fact that people are kind of fed up with Trump supporters to, you know, actual acts of genocide that have happened in history. Pretty friggin' messed up. Why is Brie Larson trending? Hold on, let me look at this real quick. What? Is this something Jeremy's gonna get mad about?
I spent an hour of recess. Ooh, I'm 10 years old. I'd probably be on the computer library researching. How do I know if I'm gay? 10 years old.
Okay, so a funny little thing that I'm sure Jeremy's gonna make a 20-minute video ranting about. Great. Oh shit!
There's nothing funny about the tools.
Wowzers! Okay, is that like the Illuminati? Hold on.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Thank you! Thank you for gifting all the subs! I really like your channel, by the way. Thank you.
There's nothing funny about
Yay!
the tools of capitalism.
That was great. I didn't know Blair knew I existed, so that's nice. Much appreciated. I don't know if Blair's like still here, but I really like your your MLM content and all that. It's great. Let's see.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Breaking! Investigators from the DOJ and FBI have concluded that the riots at the Capitol were pre-planned far before the speech that Trump made. You know what that means? The House just impeached a sitting POTUS illegally based on nothing. Oh man, it is treason season. Even CNN is reporting this. That's how bad this is. This is even more ammo for Trump. Do they not understand that, Trump has been, like, stoking this stochastic terrorism for months by claiming the election as a fraud? It wasn't literally, you know... It wasn't literally just a little bit ago like that. I don't know. It wasn't just on the 6th, is what I'm trying to say.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Sorry, I'm reading chat. One second. Boop, boop, boop. Sorry, today's kind of like jumpy aroundy, and I apologize.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism. There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Okay.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Remember that time Ben Shapiro called a conservative in the UK a liberal?
A bill banning abortions after a woman has been pregnant for 6 weeks is not a return to the dark ages. What's your answer?
My answer is something called science. Human life exists at conception. It ought to be protected. Now, back to my question to you. You purport to be an objective journalist. BBC purports to be an objective down-the-middle network. It obviously is not. It never has been. And you, as a journalist, are proceeding to call one side of the political aisle ignorant, barbaric, and sending us back to the dark ages. Why don't you just say that you're on the left? Is this so hard for you? Why can't you just be honest? Seriously, it's a serious question.
Mr. Shapiro, if you only knew how ridiculous that statement is, you wouldn't have said it. I just asked you a question.
And I asked you a question. You failed to answer a single one of mine. Frankly, I find this whole thing a waste of time. If you want to read the book and critique the book, why don't you read and critique the book? If you want to critique me, you can think whatever you want of me.
Why don't you
frankly,
just try and
I don't care. I don't frankly give a damn what you think of me since I've never heard of you.
And I've never heard of you until I briefed myself for this. But that's not the issue. You have a new
why the
book
hell are you
out,
interviewing
and
me,
it's an interesting book. But my point is, your book claims that
well, it'd be nice if you would quote it from time to time.
Your book is, well, actually, I've done so several times, and I'm about to do so again, if you would let me just finish the question. Your book
frankly, I don't
claims
think
that society
honestly,
is turning its back
sir,
on Judeo-Christian values.
Yeah,
what are those values? What are the values it's turning its back on?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
I'm not inclined to continue an interview with a person as badly motivated as you as an interviewer. So I think we're done here. I appreciate your time, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time and for showing that anger is not part of American political discourse now, Mr. Shapiro.
So good. I didn't incite mosque shooter, conservative pundit Ben Shapiro insists. This evil piece of human crap happened to be somebody who had seen some of my tweets, Ben Shapiro said of Quebec mosque shooter Andre Bissonnet. Yeah, no, Ben, okay, look, Ben, here's the thing about Ben, and I find it so interesting, because I genuinely don't think Ben is one of the conservatives, right-wingers, chuds, whatever, in the past week and a half or so, who's come out and been like, oh, these Capitol insurrection attempts, these riots are terrible. I genuinely think Ben Shapiro believes that. He's a piece of shit, and he absolutely has rhetoric that hurts, like, people like myself who are trans, people who are not wealthy. But I think it really comes out of a place of Ben was born rich, and I think he's insulated from the world's problems. He genuinely thinks anyone who doesn't succeed must have done something wrong in their life or must not be trying, because everything was so relatively easy for him because he was born with money. So I don't think he understands that he ends up being this on-ramp to the alt-right, to people like Caitlin Bennett over at Liberty Hangout, who hate him because they're anti-Semites. It's so frustrating that he's like, just so bad at his job and he doesn't understand what he's doing. It's frustrating. This congresswoman who live tweeted Nancy Pelosi's location during an insurrection on the Capitol. Remember that? Yikerinos. Today, what Nancy Pelosi did to Donald Trump is the same as Pontius Pilate did to Jesus Christ a few months ago. She crucified America's savior. Zack Snyder called. He would like his subtle allusions to Jesus Christ back. Oh, this is lovely. Once again, chuds want to be subjugated so badly that they'll make comparisons to literally the Holocaust because they aren't allowed to post terroristic threats on Twitter. Very reasonable. Here's National Guard hanging out in DC. I kind of feel bad for all these people who have to, like, go and hang out because a bunch of chuds and rednecks decided to go storm the Capitol building. Parler CEO says social media app may not return. Womp womp. What a shame. Given what we know about Trump, only one of two things makes sense. One, Trump is snake, and we've all been... I don't even know what this word means, so I'm gonna not say it, just in case. 4D Chess has this in the bag. He doesn't need us effing it up. Hint, it's number one. It's number one. If Trump is going to be impeached, he would want to at least make history. So 2 nonsensical impeachments is actually a win. Our Prez out here making history every day. We love him. We're actually really excited that our favorite Daddy Trump got to be the first person to be impeached twice, guys. We're not mad about it at all. The second impeachment is part of the radical liberal communists of the United States who fear President Trump having a second term. The radical liberal communists goals. I like that they're liberal communists. Liberal communist. Interesting. Okay. It's a billiards term. It's safer to US. Okay, I just wasn't sure. Wanted to be rather safe than sorry. The radical liberal communists' goals in the United States is to separate race and cause disorder to anyone who may interfere with the illegal and treasonous greed. Because the Senate is not scheduled to reconvene until January 19th, 2021, discussions have taken place around possibly convicting Trump in the Senate after he leaves office, leaving open the possibility of permanently restricting a convicted former president from ever holding public office. That's actually true. That's one of the benefits of, convicting in the Senate, even after he's already out of office. You wouldn't be able to, remove him, obviously, because he's already gone, but it would prevent him from holding federal public office again, which would be a win, so that's nice. Someone's selling their Parler installed phone for $3,500. Parler's not even online right now, guys. It might not come back. This is worse than when Flappy Bird got removed and they were selling phones for like $500,000 or whatever with Flappy Bird installed. Hello, I'm a tightly... What? Oh, wow, okay. Just right into it. Hello, I'm a tightly circumcised man of Christ. How tight, do you ask? Well, I'm circumcised tight, like true Christian American values. You look like a man who will stand for Trump against Joe Biden's uncircumcised hood of socialism. Will you join me in my quest to circumcise Antifa for Christ? I assume this is satire. These Mexicans aren't oh, no. Nope. 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 Backing out of that one. Backing out of that one. Jesus Christ. Not gonna lie, being impeached twice is pretty badass. Breaking Biden inauguration will be... Oh, God. The QAnon stuff. It's always the QAnon stuff, isn't it? Biden inauguration will be... God, these people are not the best with grammar. Biden inauguration will be a mass arrest event. Sources tell me Space Force will cut feed from inauguration and initiate GBS, allowing Trump to announce crimes against humanity committed by attendees to World. Without cover story, Swamp would flee after first arrest. So they're gonna get everyone into the... First of all, I think they're closing the National Mall. The National Mall, if anyone isn't, you know, from the United States, basically the area
There's nothing funny about the
between like the Capitol building and like the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington monuments sort of in the middle. It's that big area in the Capitol where the Smithsonian sort of surrounds it. You've seen it in movies and stuff. They're closing it down. It's where people typically stand during the inauguration, but during the inauguration it's going to be closed because COVID. So no, it's not going to be a mass arrest event. Even if it wasn't closed, there is not some secret QAnon underground move to arrest Democrats. This is a cope. This is a massive, massive cope. Dear Clinton, this is from Donald Trump Jr. in 2016. Dear Clintons, you know what's deplorable? Being impeached. Agree. Try to impeach this. Done. At first, I thought the storming of the Capitol really was just some pissed off Trump supporters. After seeing how the left is reacting, now I'm convinced it was 100% a planned false flag. Everything these people do is staged. Yes, some real people joined in. That's how mob mentality works. It only takes a few people to get everybody going. They know that. They've been practicing for 9 months with Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They didn't have enough security on purpose. They obviously had the police stand down. We already know of at least a couple Antifa and Black Lives Matter people in disguise and leading everyone in. Police were waving people in when Congress came back from their beta bunkers. It's beta to be in a bunker when people are trying to murder you, I guess. They had speeches written. They were acting upset. I mean, it's a joke. You know what's really alpha is just standing there where a bunch of terrorists murder you. How alpha? Very high tea to be murdered by a bunch of losers storming the Capitol. They were acting upset. I mean, it's a joke. All of that was suspicious, but how they're reacting now gives it away. It's like every other hoax they pull, overplaying their hand. Terrorists, white supremacists, armed insurrectionists, impeach, 25th Amendment, coup, silence, delete social media accounts, arrests, nuclear codes, no-fly lists, fired from your job, never work again, shut down websites, 20,000 troops in DC. Okay, we get it already. See, okay, I don't think you guys do get it, because you're still making posts like this on the Donald.win where you're claiming it was like Antifa or something. No, it was you guys, and now social media is trying to mitigate damage and prevent it from happening again, because again, fascist coups are bad. Maybe we need a little picture book for kids, because I guess not enough kids learned this. Like, did you know? Storming the Capitol building to try and forcefully install a leader you want is bad, frowny face. Democracy is good, actually, happy face. They left the Capitol wide open. They had some paid goons and some paid-off cops start the riot and siege, and I think they expected us to really go in there and do a lot more damage than we did. 5 people died. They wanted us to bring guns in. People did have guns. Possible hostage situations where we occupy the Capitol. There was an attempt. There were people with those handcuffs. They were looking for people. They just couldn't find them because they evacuated them. Arson, just so they could instantly arrest Trump and try him for treason. People use the word treason incredibly wrong. Nothing Trump did would be treason. It would be either sedition or some sort of incitement of violence. The suicides by that cop and rioter were loose ends, and I wouldn't doubt if the other cop was killed by them and blamed on us too. Fire extinguisher. Yeah, okay, you guys beat him to death in the head with a fire extinguisher.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
It frustrates me to no end when people will take part in the stoking of violence and then they try and disavow the violence that they were taking a part in stoking. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I hate it. Here's some mask off. Democracy is a code word for the establishment. Democracy means total rule over the working class and the normalization of letting elites walk all over us. No. Democracy is good. Democracy that we have in its current form, where rich people can basically decide political outcomes based on their contributions, not good. Not good. But that doesn't make democracy inherently bad. Like, if you don't have democracy, then you're inherently going to have a small group of people, probably even smaller than it already is, deciding the fate of the country, and that's not good for most people living in it. Oh, this is a bit cringe. Post from the Donald.win. My girlfriend, 57, I don't know why her age is pertinent, but okay. My girlfriend just watched Trump's speech today, and for the second time this week, tears were rolling down her face. Asked why she was crying. He has been through so much for me. I feel so bad for him. I love that man. Every person who loves this country can relate to her feelings. Don't think there have been a day since the 6th that I haven't cried. Remember when these people were ramping up like, oh, I can't wait for all the liberal tears? How'd that work out? Not great, I'm guessing. Someone made a Trump snowman, and they made its hair orange. I respect the follow-through on the orange hair. Again, here's National Guard people sleeping in the Capitol building. Oof.
People of the United States of America, they don't care. If they cared, they would have certified our democratic elections. If they cared, they wouldn't have amplified the lie. If they cared, they would have protected their colleagues instead of tweeting out their locations for the mob to find them. If they cared, they would have done and acted with integrity, but they didn't. They don't care. They care about themselves. They care about their elections. They care about their next gig. They care about their money, their power, their fame. And this is how democracy can burn. It is fragile. We must cherish it. And they didn't. And they don't. So they need to leave. Donald Trump needs to leave. Ted Cruz needs to leave. Josh Hawley needs to get out. They need to get out. I hear or see the Republican Party talk about blue lives ever again. This was never about safety for them. It was always a slogan. Because if they actually cared about rule of law, they would speak up when people break the law. They would speak up. They would enforce fairness and equity, but they don't give a damn about the law. They don't give a damn about order. They don't give a damn about safety. They give a damn about white supremacy. They care.
I like how mad she gets. She's good at that. Oh God, did you see this? Let he who hath not an AR-15 take his $600 stimulus and buyeth one. If he receives $1,200, take the other portion and buyeth ammunition. Because if Jesus was in favor of anything, it was violence. Turn the other cheek. More like load another mag, am I right? Lame. This person says, I keep getting emails and text messages from the RNC begging for money. Can you believe the nerve? The Republican Party is dead to us and we will never give them a dime. They betrayed the greatest president ever. So good he got impeached twice and left him out to dry. F them forever. We look to the Patriot Party, a party that will not cave to the demons or allow fake patriots. Pinos, patriots in name only. Oh, the Proud Boys did a poll. This is, what a shocking turn of events. The Proud Boys, white nationalist group, did a poll that said, at what point who would you trust more with your children's future? The American governmental system or Nazis? And 89% of the Proud Boys that voted said Nazis. Don't worry, though. Trump told them to stand by, so it's fine. Jesus Christ. How's the Donald doing? It's probably enough coping MAGA. The Donald is trying to cover its butt in terms of violence being fomented here on the site, by the way, so that's where this is going to come in. A note on the protests. As we know, there have been a lot of media hit pieces recently suggesting that our site is being used to plan armed protest insurrections. I will say personally, I've never heard about this Twitter HQ protest until the media started pumping articles about it, and only one person attended, and they likely learned it from the media, so it was clearly a hoax. I've also never heard about the January 17th events until Twitter used them as a reason to ban President Trump. We haven't seen any organizations, blah, blah, blah. They're basically saying no, 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 and they're saying we disavow. And then this guy, the top comment says, remember guys, it isn't over till it's over. Gee, I wonder what they mean by that. And they say, yes, the mods have been infiltrated. They're clearly compromised. Again, they think that the mods have been compromised because they're not wanting people to foment insurrection on their website. Simple question. Are we being told not to peacefully protest by all these posts here in the last 24 hours? I don't think that we should go armed to the Capitol or any state capitals at this point. But why are all of a sudden we're being told not to peacefully protest anywhere and stay home and watch TV? I'm serious, guys. I'm just asking this simple question. Are we being told not to peacefully protest the communists steal and take over? Please, let's have a serious discussion about what we are doing here in regard to our peaceably showing our majority numbers. You guys aren't the majority. You're not the majority at all. Oh, wow. We got a bunch of gift subs. Batty Bell, thank you for gifting 10 subs to the community. Wow, we're already at 152 subs for our sub goal this month, which is 200. Nice. Thank you, Batty Bell.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Okay, I think I'm over the MAGA cope posts for today. I want to get to the videos. So a little bit shorter MAGA cope stuff today, but I kind of wanted to get some other stuff.